Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Mic'd Up with McIlvoy, our series that lives on KPRC2 Plus, click2houston.com, KPRC2's YouTube page as well. Our chance to sit down with the playmakers, if you will, anybody tied to sports in the Houston area. We're sitting here right now inside the lobby of NRG Stadium as the Texans get ready to start a new work week as they prepare for a trip to Green Bay, Lambeau Field, to take on the Green Bay Packers. Texans right now off to a fantastic start, 5-1 after 6 weeks. Right now, one of the top storylines coming out of the AFC. This past week, went over the Patriots. Hey, it was a big day for several players, including Dameon Pierce, getting his chance to return to the football field. Job well done, 8 carries, 76 yards, and had that 54-yard touchdown.
Pierce across the 50. Pierce breaks a tackle. 45-40 right sideline. The 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Rock and roll. He's got the touchdown.
Welcome in, Dameon Pierce.
How you doing, man? Thank you for having me, man.
Thanks for carving out a few minutes. We're trying to get good digs here for these interviews. Just kind of calm, cool, collected here. Off the practice field, coming off the game that you had, how did it feel? What was it like getting back out on that football field? Getting that big run. I asked you about it earlier in the week to describe the feeling of reaching that end zone. What was it like?
You know, it'll feel exactly how one would imagine. You know, coming off an injury, you know, just making sure, like, for me personally, you know, it was just a matter of, you know, getting confidence back that, okay, I broke a long run. Yeah. Hamstring feel okay. All right, I can do this now. We good to roll. You know, like I said earlier this week, you know, it take all 11 to get there. And just, you know, when I get, I just try to celebrate with my guys, man. But I'm happy. You know, I'm happy. I'm overwhelmed and just glad to be back out there, man. Because like I hate being away from football, so coming back in the fashion I did was just great, bro.
How was it being away? You know, getting healthy again. Describe that feeling, because you guys, like any professional athlete, you kind of creatures of habit. You have a way of doing things day by day, and you weren't able to get out on that football field. How tough was that on you personally? How did that kind of make you grow a little bit?
You know, the way I handle problems, you know, I go through a pout period, and then I just put it behind me and get to work. So I probably had like the first 3 days, probably that Thursday. Well, the Thursday I got injured, you know, had MRI, I had to wait. So probably Friday it kicked in that, hey, you got a grade 1, you probably not playing Sunday. I'm like, okay, so this is a 1 week thing. Right. So then we come to Monday, we reevaluate. They're like, hey man, probably 3 more weeks on this NDP if you work really hard, you know what I'm saying? And that was a maybe. So I'm like, well, if I work really hard, I can maybe get back at 3. I'm trying to get 3. So that's what we did. You know, I put my head down, worked very hard, stayed on top of everything. You know, the trainers, the return to football staff, my coaches, my teammates, everybody was very supportive. And, you know, they helped me move in the direction I was moving to heal rapidly and get back to where I was, man. And as you see on Sunday, everything paid off and everything. And that's probably one of the better feelings from Sunday, seeing everybody on the sideline who helped me get back to where I was and get back on the field. And just to score, man, to see the smile on those guys' faces, man, was everything.
You emphasized that, and you said that, you know, celebrate with the guys. It's not, I'm going to celebrate by myself, because you know you're a team guy. Yeah. And people have a job to do to make those holes for you to happen. And you recognize it.
Yeah, exactly. I've always been like that. I was taught football from a very young age. I was taught football was a team sport. You know, everybody say it ain't no I in team, but Kobe said there's an ME in it. I try to put emphasis on that. You know, the way I approach the game, I just know that, you know, it takes all 11 guys at any given time, and sometimes they got to pick up the slack for me and vice versa. And that's the whole thing of a team sport, you know, having guys to lean on, having guys to depend on, and having guys that you know are in your corner when, you know, things aren't always going the best.
When you're a running back, for the average person out there that's watching this interview, they haven't been a running back before, what's the feeling like when you're running that play, you do that cut, and that hole is wide open, man? And you see daylight. What's that like?
See, that's the thing. See, it wasn't wide open. It's kind of like
not that particular run, but in general.
In general, when it's wide open, that means everything went right. Everybody happy. Like, that's when you see everybody on the sideline like this before, you know. But when you see something like that, it just kind of like.
Sometimes it's just a seam, right?
Exactly.
Got to work it.
Exactly. So when you see, like you said, when you see just a highway, just a gaping hole, and you see the end zone on the other side, you just like, okay, now I got to do my job. Yeah. Where the safety? Make your miss. That's when you go to smiling. Like, that's when you go to okay. But you know, man, like I said though, like just seeing all that hard work come to fruition, for that certain point in time, because you never know when it's going to happen. That's one thing I've learned too. You never know when it's going to happen. So just always be ready for that moment. But man, when it opens up, bro, it's special, bro.
Great feeling,
it's special.
What's this running back room like? You've hit on that a few times. Everybody's pulling for one another and pushing one another to be better. What's that like on a given day with y'all's group?
Oh, any given day, man, we just a lot of guys who love football, who love to have fun. So the way I try to describe it, I hate to say it, but we had Cam. Cam was a great guy, great personality. Right. Me and Cam are very similar, in terms of personality and our approach to the game. Country guys, small time guys, come from humble roots, kind of raised the same. So me and Cam will click. Like, that was one of my guys. I wish him the best, in everything he do and all the endeavors he go through. But just the running back room, we try to have as much fun as we can while still being professional. So, you know what I'm saying? We if you walk in the running back room any given day, you might see us joking, laughing, but just know that we laughed and joking and doing all the laugh stuff after we put in the work. After we
gotta put in the work.
You know what I'm saying? After we done we don't watch this pressure tape. We don't watch these run looks. We don't watch these fronts. We don't watch how these guys tackle. X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3. Everything that goes into being a great running back, because we have to be involved in the pass game just as much as we have to be involved in the run game. So just make sure we don't talk about details and all. I think DB does a great job of keeping it open book. So, like, for example, if DB's coaching and immediately something comes to mind, he encourages us to ask right away. Like, we all in this together, because he say there's no him without us. So the best way he can service us, he's going to do that. And Coach Barry done a great job of just being a mentor, being a coach, and being a friend at times when needed as well.
You've learned, like anybody stepping in the NFL, you got to learn to be a pro, don't you?
Exactly.
When you come out of college, it's not just handed to you.
Yeah, because
there is a line that you've got to cross over. Like, hey,
exactly,
I'm a professional now.
Exactly right. Because college is more so just following directions. College is be here at this time and woo. NFL, they like, hey, we got meetings at 8.
Not 8:01.
You know what I'm saying? You can be here at 6 and get rehab if you want. You can be that guy that come early, or you can be the guy that come in at 7:50 and whatever works for you. But as long as you producing on the field,
yeah.
But it works for some guys it doesn't. But like you said, the NFL is a whole different world, man. Like, you really independent and on your own. Everything is on you. So whatever happens to you in this league is a result of your habits and your choices. Like I said last year around this time, like, I learned a lot. Like, last year probably one of the best years of my career in terms of just learning and getting over that hump of being a pro, becoming a pro, and learning professionalism, being around guys such as Joe, being around guys like Dameon, and CJ. He's a young pro as well. Like, so it can happen. It can be done, but it definitely takes work and discipline for sure.
When you look at this offense, a lot of attention's on CJ, these receivers, the running game. That running game, for this to get to where y'all want to get, it's got to be a well-oiled machine. That's the importance of the running game. That's vital in this offense.
Right. See, everybody's like you said, man. Everybody focus on the receivers. Everybody focus on CJ. Everybody focus on the running backs. But the real heroes in the room are the linemen. Those guys go through so much. Those guys go through so many injuries, and those guys got to go through so many looks and things that could happen. That probably haven't happened on film. So those guys got to be prepared for every attack from every angle, on top of staying in the game the whole game. Those guys get the most snaps out of everybody. Them and the quarterback get the most snaps out of everybody. Yeah. That's what most people don't realize. So, if it come to me, every time I get a chance to shout out the O-line, I'm going to shout them out and just show my appreciation for those guys and how hard they work and all the injuries they overcome and just how they go to war for us each and every Sunday.
Long season, but you guys are off to a very nice start going into Green Bay. When you look around this locker room, there's a chance this could be a special season now. And I figured you guys know that, but a lot of things have to come together.
Exactly. And that's the thing. We know that. The things have to come together. And at the same time, you got to work for those things to come together. Like, it's one thing to be in position. It's one thing to have the opportunity. But it's another thing to, I done put in the work to take advantage of this opportunity. An opportunity without hard work is just another missed chance, and we're not trying to miss our ticket. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to miss our window, because we know it's very hard. Like, it's very hard to go to the Super Bowl. It's very hard to be a playoff team. So that's why we take it week by week. That's why we, like, the thing about us is, we're 5-1. So all the mistakes we made with a win for the most part. Yeah. So it's easier to learn from a win than, you know, deal with a loss. So that's one thing we got on our side right now. We're 5-1. We learn it every week, but we still, in our mind, we owe and owe every week, bro. We just got to beat the next guy, beat the next guy, beat the next guy, beat the next guy. As long as we keep stacking days and stacking games, and ultimately weeks, you know, we'll get where we want to be.
Thanks for the time, brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, Rainy.
Dameon Pierce, Houston, Texas, big one this weekend. Best of luck to you, man.
Thanks, bro.
Time for a break. We got much more on Mic'd Up with McIlvoy as we go inside the Texans and get ready for the Packers. Special guest coming up. And welcome back, everybody, inside of NRG Stadium. Great conversation there in the first part of the show with Dameon Pierce, coming off that nice game, guys, against the New England Patriots, spelling Joe Mixon. We were talking in that conversation. We'll just start with that, the importance of the running game with any offense, but specifically with this Texans group. We know they've got weapons. C.J. Stroud has plenty of guys to throw to, but if they want to get to where they want to go, that running game's got to be elite.
Yeah, and we saw it last week. Complimentary football, right? You don't have Nico Collins. You're one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in the NFL. You're still able to put up 41 points because you have the consistent run game with Joe Mixon. I thought he started kind of slow, but he was chipping away. It felt like something big was coming, and then he breaks off the 59-yard run. And at that point, you know that your linemen are beating their D linemen. You have a running back who can take advantage of the holes, and then you can start to mix in Dameon Pierce.
And it's a more dynamic running game, and they made some changes, subtle change, how they block it. And you saw these holes were big enough probably for a refrigerator period to run through these things. I thought the offensive line did such a good job. And now you've created some balance. For Bobby Sloker, just talking with him about that, how he can, in terms of strategy, have run-pass balance. When you got a physical back like him downhill, and you get Dameon Pierce sprinkling in some long runs, I feel like they're really hard to stop, and they could have a lot more points ahead of them.
We'll get to some Stephon Diggs sound in just a moment. Let's talk receivers and how this group responded, because there was a lot of, not a lot of panic. Some panic last week when they knew they were going to lose Nico Collins, but, man, there's plenty in the arsenal here in this wide receiving core, and C.J. found them the other day in Foxborough.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting, the first target rate, if you're someone like me who looks at these deep dive fantasy stats to try to predict out what's going to happen, Stephon Diggs' first target rate did not really go up. He gets a lot of targets, he gets a lot of first looks, but he got kind of the same amount of first looks that he normally did, even with Nico in. You know whose rate went up significantly? Tank Dell.
Yep.
And so CJ, we know that there's a very close relationship between those two guys. We know Tank Dell gets open very well, and as soon as Nico is out, that first target rate went up dramatically. I think Tank Dell's a guy to watch this week.
And the missing part of the equation for the passing game has been the deep element. You haven't seen that since Nico Collins was in the lineup, but Tank Dell is capable of getting deep, and if they have him in the game plan for those kind of routes, like Ari said, you can go vertical. Someone that's got to step up, though, for there to have a third presence, and that's Dalton Schultz. That was a disappointing game. He's got to play better than that.
It's been a quiet year start to the year for him.
Yep.
Yeah.
He hasn't really been in sync. He's made a few key plays. There's been nothing explosive. He hasn't blocked great. If anything, it's been a slow start for Dalton Schultz since signing that $36 million deal.
All right, Stephon Diggs spoke Thursday here inside the locker room about a variety of topics. Listen in now to a little bit of that conversation.
We had got some guys banged up and just like, no drop off. Going the game, having the right mindset. We got so many players. We even got more guys, behind us, the guys that's playing right now that's, begging for their chance. So something that we can't take lightly. And we go out there and practice the right way or try to practice the right way just to lead by example and let guys know, no work goes unnoticed. Just got to keep putting it in. Not only be the example for the receivers, but, we go as we go. I feel like as an offense, obviously, we got Joe Mixon, leading this thing too. But as a receivers, we can control some of it and be in that spark. As an offense, just keep chopping wood. Where we are, we're not in a great place, we're not in a bad place. We're right where we need to be. When you start feeling like you're close, what I'm saying? But you got to have a breakthrough at one point. I feel like it'll come soon if we keep practicing the right way, going out there, putting our best foot forward. Because you see when it was rolling, it's rolling. Guys catching the ball, running backs breaking them, receivers blocking. It's a lot to get excited about out there when you're getting real close. So, keep chopping wood. Don't ever get too complacent. It's hard not to be a huge fan of Joe and what he brings to our team. I feel like it's a balance. We got enough horses in the stable that the ball can go around. You know what I'm saying? And he makes it easy as a receiver to be like, man, I got to block my guy, because you just never know. Joe had a couple runs. Even DP had a couple runs that those receivers are blocking. If you're blocking downfield, what I'm saying? If your guy don't make the play, he might score. You know what I'm saying? I make fun of them all the time. They both almost got caught, so I've been talking a lot of junk. But, it's easy to be that when you're a receiver. In my past, I didn't block too much, so this is the most blocking I've ever done, and I'm proud of it. Can't ride the wave. The crowd is definitely going to be involved in the game. They've always had a good team. All those years back in the day with Aaron Rodgers, I had some rough times over there.
All right, Stefon Diggs certainly locked in. I love hearing him talk just week after week. He really feels comfortable here. It seems like that's the impression he's giving everybody, and on the same page, certainly with CJ. Right?
He is a guy who's been in the league for a long time, and so he's sort of taken on a mentor role. You got Tank Dell, who's in his second year, Xavier Hutchinson, Mechie. These guys are all second-year players. Nico Collins, really good on the field, a little bit of a quieter guy.
Yeah.
Stefon Diggs is not a quieter guy, right? Stefon Diggs is the guy that holds everyone accountable for the little things. He held himself accountable. I thought it was interesting how he talked about, I made a mistake. It's a mistake that I've made previously I know I shouldn't make, and so I go and I tell the younger guys, hey, I made this mistake. Don't make this mistake because that's going to put us back. And one thing that they all like to mention, CJ especially, stay in the green, stay ahead of the sticks. Stefon felt like he did something that put him behind the sticks. He corrected it and told the younger guys, look at this mistake I made. Don't do this.
They voted him a team captain. That's validating from teammates. And he's been a very impressive leader, very generous with his time, passing on knowledge. But I like what I've seen from him just as a playing standpoint. He still creates separation. He still gets open. He catches the football very cleanly. He's on pace for 100 catches. I think it's been an outstanding acquisition so far. Great fit.
All right, speaking of, you mentioned Tank Dell. Tank Dell also spoke this week, as did C.J. Stroud. Here's Tank and C.J. as they get ready to face the Packers coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, man, very good defensive back group, very physical. We know that coming in, and, they ready to make plays. And one of them leading the NFL with interceptions, so he want to make a play on the ball. So it's a very good group going in, and we're feeling confident. I know they're going to feel confident, so it's going to be a good battle. We want to be balanced. We want to run the ball so we can throw the ball, and we want to throw the ball so we can run the ball. And with Joe Mix and DP running the ball like they've been running the ball last game, it's going to open up opportunities for us. And once we doing what we doing on the back end, it's going to open up opportunities for them. So let's go hand in hand with each other. With me, I'm always like, I feel like it's more out there for me. It was an okay game, but I know what I'm capable of. Y'all know what I'm capable of. So I just feel like it's more out there for me, and it's a step in the right direction. We got a lot more out there, because we never like when Neat come back, like when we get the full offense and everybody's going at the same time. I feel like that's when you'll be able to tell, like, okay, they got it going on. But 1 week Joe out or I'm out, and Neek there, then Neek out. So once we get everybody back and everybody clicking at once, then I feel like the sky's the limit.
You dream as a kid to, go play at this stadium, and it's a historical stadium, a lot of, great games played in there, and, to go for my first opportunity to be, up there against a great team, is going to be an honor, and I can't wait. Yeah, I think Jordan is a great dude. I think he, he's a great quarterback. He's definitely a friend of mine and somebody who, I look up to. And I think the way he's handled his career has just been very professional, and just always has a good attitude. Waited his turn, and for him to be able to play the way he's playing now, especially off an injury, I think it's just super dope. I got to be accurate and really just understand that this team is known to keep their defense. Their defense kind of keeps their team in the game by getting turnovers, and they do a great job of that. Especially on the back end, got some really good DBs, and up front they play really well, and their backers are really solid. So, another great challenge for me to try to be better with. I feel like I've been kind of like a little sloppy, turn the ball over a little bit, but sometimes the ball doesn't roll your way, but you got to take those shots, and you got to, be aggressive to, see what you can get away with and what you can't. So I don't regret any of the decisions I made, but I definitely know that, you're putting yourself at risk. So I definitely know that this game I got to be very smart with the football and just, take my shots when they come, but, if they don't come, then, just being smart with the football.
All right, a lot of focus, obviously, on the offense. Defense, though, playing very well, especially Will Anderson Jr. against the New England Patriots. I mean, what a stat line he had. He just keeps getting better and better every single week. He's really comfortable out there.
Yeah, and coming off the 3-sack game, coming off AFC Defensive Player of the Week, I think both of those guys on the edges, Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, that's one of the most terrifying edge groups that you have in the NFL. Jordan Love is really good. He escapes the pocket well. He has excellent receivers. This is among the best D-lines that he's going to face, especially now with Danico Autry coming off of the suspension. He was a really good player last year, and it kind of feels like we forgot about him because he's been out with that suspension. This is going to be a key. Can you get pressure on Jordan Love and make sure that Jaden Reed doesn't beat you underneath and he doesn't have time to go to the deep ball with Christian Watson?
What have you seen out of Will Anderson's game this year, kind of raising that bar?
What got better is he gained weight. He got a little stronger physically. He felt like he was getting tossed around in that playoff game by the Ravens. I don't disagree with him. And now that he's 263 pounds, he's finishing better. He's throwing guys around, and he hasn't lost any speed. And it's very impressive. Impressive enough that Mr. J.J. Watt sends him a lot of congratulatory text messages. Hey, when the gold standard number 99 is telling you you're doing a good job, you know you are.
All right, listen in real quick, a little bit from Will Anderson Jr. this week.
Yeah, I'm very excited, man. I can't wait. I heard a lot of great things about this place. Great atmosphere, great fans, and, you know, road game like this is what you come to the league for. This is what you play this game for. This is what you dream of as a little kid. So to be able to live out this dream and go up there with my teammates and go have fun, man, it's going to be exciting. Jordan Love does a really good job of commanding that offense, man. They rally around him. Josh Jacobs running downhill, top 5 in, you know, running category. So we have to do a good job of just doing us. And this is just eliminating explosive, man, and just going out there swarming and having fun, and that's how we can be able to control this game. Yeah, man, he's really good with his feet. He can escape the pocket, man. He can roll out. He sets very deep, man, and he's a playmaker. He's one of the best quarterbacks we're going to see this year. We just have to do a really good job of doing us, executing, and having fun up front, man, and just balling out and making sure that we're on the details of our job. Yeah, it's important every weekend, man. It's important every weekend, man. We want to be one of the best defensive lines in this league, man. And it just starts with the preparation throughout the week. How we get into the quarterback throughout the week. How are we training ourselves throughout the week, man. Like I said, I think we have a really great group of guys to do that and know how to do it the right way. Yeah, man, it's just it's an honor to be up there with him, man, and I respect his game so much, and I look up to JJ, man. He's been a great, you know, role model in my life. He's been helping me, you know, keeping me encouraged and everything like that, man. And you just got to keep going, can't get comfortable. And I think Coach Ryans, he always hit it on the head, man. Just staying on edge, and that's for me and my mentality. That's how I always operate, man. It's like, yeah, that's good, but like, what's next? What you gonna do now? So it's just about just enjoying the process, man. Loving this process, falling in love with this process, man, and keep growing, keep getting better each week. And that's just my biggest thing is how can I get 1% better each week, and how can I stay consistent as long as possible until the end of the season. Me and CJ sit in the front row of every team meeting, man. I get to see him every day, walking through the locker room, all that type of stuff. We keep each other grounded, man. We keep each other like we're both bigger in our faith. So anytime he see me down, he encouraged me. Anytime I see him down, I encourage him, man. And to both be like the cornerstones on the defensive offense, man, we want to make sure that we're always keeping each other uplifted, man, because sometimes it can be a lot of pressure, and we're both hard on ourselves. And I can tell when CJ's being hard on himself, I said, man, relax. Like, you're going to be good. Like, you know who you're doing it for. You know who got you, man. And he already know who I'm talking about. So, man, it's great having a guy like CJ in the building, having a guy like that to have my back, man. He keeps me grounded. He gives me confidence, man. And I just want to keep playing hard because I know I got 7 on the other side.
All right, before we wrap it up, I want to deal with injuries now. What's the latest coming off that weekend against New England and anything during the week that fast?
It's not great, Randy. Yeah, they're going to be missing several starters. So when you look at Kamari Lassiter, he broke a scapula. It's a small fracture of the scapula. It's behind the shoulder blade. And so he is going to be out at least 2 more games. So they continue to try to get him within this month. So we'll see. Maybe it's going to be 2, 3, 4. And then Jimmy Ward will miss this game. Yeah. He's got a groin injury, hyperextended his groin, so he will miss this game. Azeez Al-Shaair, they're still determining his status. Not moving that badly, can still run, and I wouldn't rule him out yet. We haven't gotten the official Friday injury report yet, but I could see Azeez Al-Shaair gutting it out. He's a very tough guy. No Henry To'oTo'o with the concussion. Good news is Joe Mixon, Larry Tunsil, no ill effects. Those guys are playing, and they'll have no Robert Woods with a foot injury.
All right, real quick, they're going to Green Bay. They're going to Lambeau Field. That place is going to be rocking. Weather's not going to be a problem, so it's good. You're getting these guys in October. At least supposed to be 60s or something like that. But they're facing, the defense is facing Jordan Love, a guy that is really playing at a high level, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. This could be a big test for this defense.
Yeah, you look at it, and they have Jaden Reed. They have targets. They have guys. And you know Jordan Love's going to look at D'Angelo Ross, Jalen Petrie, Eric Murray, other quarterbacks have done that with some success. Yep. I look for him to try to duplicate that blueprint. The Texans will have to hit Jordan Love early and often to prevent that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough with their receiving core. They're likely missing Dameon Wicks, but they have 4 really good receivers, even if one out. That leaves 3. You mentioned Jaden Reed, really good running underneath. Christian Watson, their deep ball guy, he came back from injury, had a deep ball catch last week. He can do that at any point. And then Romeo Dobbs, who had kind of the personal issues, wasn't happy with his role. He came back, and he had a good week last week, caught a touchdown. And so they're very similar to the Texans in that sense, where you have a really good quarterback and you have a ton of weapons and targets. And this whole time, we haven't even talked about Josh Jacobs, which is sort of their Joe Mixon. It's a guy who's going to get a ton of carries and has juice and explosiveness. These two teams mirror each other really well.
And you look at everything. I mean, Green Bay is a team, what are they, 4-2 coming into this team. You look out of the NFC, look out. Yeah, December, if they stay healthy, look out. They're going to be a serious threat in the postseason.
Right, and they're so well coached by Matt LaFleur. They have an imaginative offensive playbook, and I think this is going to be a very difficult game. Can't wait to cover it. I look at the Texans. They're going to learn a lot about themselves on Sunday. How do they stack up with an elite NFC team?
All right, good stuff as we get you ready for another game weekend. He is Aaron Wilson, our Texans insider for click2houston.com. Of course, Ari Alexander, Randy McIlvoy. So long for now from NRG Stadium. Enjoy the game. Have a great weekend. Go Texans against the Green Bay Packers. We'll see if they can pick up win number 6. See you next week.